Cool. Looks like it's up and running. What's up, everybody? This is Gabe, Infinity Watch. This is a Thanksgiving Q&A session. I kind of stole this idea from Jess, who did one this morning. And I thought, why not? You know, there's not much going on Thanksgiving unless everybody decides they want to sleep on the sidewalk and try and get some Black Friday sales or some pepper spray to defend themselves through the crowd, or brass knuckles, or just some kind of ninja skills. So I figured instead, why not just have a Q&A session, get a little something going on here, talk about recent events in comics, talk about what we're thankful for, and those kinds of fun things as well. Give me a second. I don't have the chat up. Somehow I decided not to do that. Let me get this so I can see who's in the chat. I know there's some folks in here already, which is awesome, and I appreciate everybody who's decided to spend some of their Thanksgiving evening here with me today. But anyways, yo, what up, Matt? Good to see you in the chat, brother. Nice to see you, buddy. So through this whole thing, if you have questions about anything to do with comic books or collected editions or the hobby or single issues or whatever the case might be, today is your day to ask me some questions. I'm a little inebriated, so there's really no rules pretty much right now. Ask me what you want. So while we're trying to wait and get some more action and some more foot traffic going on in here, let's talk about some recent pickups I got. Or you might have seen this if you watched the recent episode of Omni Bros on Monday, because on Mondays we've decided to kind of split up the format of the show. It used to be on Thursdays, absolutely everything would happen. You would get the hauls, you would get what you're reading, and you would get the topic for the week. But that seemed to be a lot of information to kind of fuck around with every so often. So we decided on Mondays, we're going to cut it up and make Monday what you got and what you read, and Thursday will be dedicated to the topics. So if you haven't seen that information yet, I finally got the last two, that's volume 6 and volume 5, the last two hardcovers I needed for my Ultimate Spider-Man run, or Ultimate Fantastic Four run. Volume 5 was the hard one to get. This one was going for over cover price for a while. I was able to find a nice bid auction on eBay where I was able to get this for not the $35. I think I paid like $22 for this, something like that. And then volume 6 was super easy to find. I already saw this all over eBay for like $25. I think I got this one for about the same price, about $20 to $15. So that's going to be something that I can't wait to add to my shelves and finally have that entire collection complete and finished. My boy Gio, you guys may know Gio from A Week in Geekdom. He's a big Ultimate Fantastic Four fan too. So me and him will probably end up doing a read along and a read through and a discussion of each of the hardcovers and stuff like that. So have I started Fury Max yet? It's awesome. That's from Kyle Lotz. Kyle, are you talking about the movie Fury Max or like a comic series or what? I've seen the movie. Movies, I mean, there's not much more I can say about the movie that 100 people haven't said already. Movie's excellent. I know there was a Fury Max comic book series that was like a handful of one-shots, but I didn't get into that at all. So oh, that Fury Max, Jesus Christ. What was I thinking about the movie? No, sorry, dude. This Fury Max. I got this off of Lewis from the Omnibus Collectors group. I have not started this yet. No, sir. I got a lot of reading ahead of that. I'm going to get to this pretty soon, too. I'm thinking I'm going to get to that. I think I might do like a reading order. I think I might want to read Punisher Max first before I jump into Fury Max. So again, that's another pickup I got. This is an excellent book. It's by Garth Ennis. It's part of the whole Max run like he was doing with Punisher. But this is all Nick Fury and his. There's some great art in it. It's all about his kind of all the different tours and events and things he went through different wars throughout Vietnam and Laos and Iraq, and just messed up things that takes place when you're in the military. So that kind of great stuff. It's got a really nice hardcover underneath the sleeve as well. The back is just a gun, no big deal. But I really like this kind of a really neat ink wash kind of effect they got going on the front there. Thoughts on Doomsday Clock? I noticed your pin. Do you recommend reading Watchmen before it? Okay, so I was going to get into some Doomsday Clock information a little bit later on. I was kind of holding that off in case there was a lot of people not kind of paying attention to the show today or whatever. But yes, I did get Doomsday Clock. Where is it? So I did get Doomsday Clock. I have the lenticular cover. Let me pull out the bag. Maybe you can see it better. DC's lenticulars that they do are way, way better than like Marvel's, in my opinion. You can actually see the changes going on here with Rorschach's mask. Just it's a normal kind of Rorschach spots, and then turns into the Trinity symbols of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Super cool effect on that. What I thought about this, well, this is the first issue. It's a lot of buildup to something much grander. It feels like there's something ahead of us, and this is really building up to it. Jeff Johns is doing a great job. There is the artwork in here from Gary Frank is really great too. I'm gonna try and show you a page that isn't spoilery. Okay, this is just stuff. This is just some really great artwork of Gary Frank of Martha and Jonathan Kent with Clark when they were younger. But he does really nice. He makes these talking heads in a car just look great. The entire book, I believe, besides like maybe 1 or 2 pages, I think the last page is the 9-panel grid, like the original Watchmen. So they do have the 9-panel grid throughout the entire book. Most of it, about 98% of the book takes place in the Watchmen world universe. I don't know if it's a different universe now or what's going to happen, but most of it takes place in the Watchmen universe. Other than that page I showed you with Clark as a kid, that and like one more other page is DC universe centric. There's a few changes going on here with certain characters. There's a violent prison outbreak, which is cool. But yeah, no, to answer your question, I'm loving it so far. This first issue did a great job of kind of getting everything set up, ready to go, and building up the world of this Doomsday Clock Watchmen world that we're dealing with now. And, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank are killing it. They knocked it out of the park on this first issue. If you haven't got this yet, you're going to have a hard time probably finding it. All the shops I know of are sold out or close to selling out, and I know Diamond is sold out. So whatever you can find in your local comic book shop, that's it for issue number 1. Stores cannot right now order more first prints of Doomsday Clock. I'm sure there'll be a second print sooner or later, but if you're interested in this at all, if you're a trade waiter, even somebody like myself who's a trade waiter and a hardcover waiter, try out the first issue, see what you think of it. I'm going to get all 12 issues of Doomsday Clock, and I'm going to double dip and get the hardcover when it comes out because I'm a huge Watchmen fan. I have a Watchmen tattoo. See if I can kind of get that on here a little bit. So I love Watchmen, and I'll get anything involved with Watchmen. I even like before Watchmen. I know some people see that as being kind of a controversial opinion. but I enjoyed Before Watchmen as well. Also, I don't know if anybody made it to a midnight showing, or midnight showing. I'm thinking of movies. The midnight release, they were giving out these really cool lithographs, which is the black and white version of one of the covers from Watchmen. What's funny about the Watchmen, though, for Doomsday Clock, I'll tell you that right now. The main cover for Watchmen, Doomsday Clock, is pretty whatever. It's literally just the first panel of the series. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's the person holding up the sign that says the end is near. Not my favorite cover. Kind of a boring cover overall, but very Watchmen-like. All the Watchmen covers were just a static image, and were usually the first panel of the comic anyway. So that's kind of a nice callback to that. But in retrospect, if you're looking for a cool cover, I would say the lenticular or the this Gary Frank one that's colored. It has the Superman and Doc Manhattan's all colored and stuff like that. So those are my covers. I didn't like the other sign holding cover. It just wasn't fun. All right. I hope that answered your question there, David. So go and check it out. Yes, I would 100% recommend that you read Watchmen before. I got Watchmen right here. Actually, I got a couple versions of Watchmen. I do recommend that you read Watchmen before. There is no way. I mean, I can't say that. I might be kind of exaggerating, but I think anybody would have a difficult time getting in to the series of Doomsday Clock without first reading Watchmen. And I always recommend, if you're going to read Watchmen, it's a 12-issue series. Don't just marathon the whole thing in one sitting or two sittings. Watchmen is very, very dense, very, very thick, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an unfilmable comic book. So, with that said, I would say maybe do 1 or 2 issues a day, so that you can let that sink in. You can think about it at work, think about while you're driving. It is going to get in your head. So, I think you lose out on a lot of information if you just marathon Watchmen in one sitting. Because the same as like when you're watching a TV show and you marathon that like on Netflix, you're going to not realize what happened in issue 1 versus what happens in issue 5 or 8, because it's all going to seem like one long issue. These things are divided up for a reason and on purpose, and everything is planned out. So, yes, you do need to read Watchmen. If you haven't already, that's strange. But I understand that not everybody has been into comics as long as I have. But Watchmen is definitely a must-read either way. So I hope that answered your question, David. A little long-winded, but I hope I hope that helps out a little bit. WPNX 84. Are you looking forward to the Jack Kirby New Gods omnibus? Fuck yes, dude. I'm fucking in on that so much. I already have it pre-ordered at my shop. I know I'm going to get it that Tuesday or the day it comes out. So you guys can expect to see a video from me as quickly as I can of one of my spotlight review videos, where I'm going to take the book. I'm going to go basically by the cover, front cover, back cover, open it up, and we're just going to discuss what we see in it. It's not a review because I wouldn't have been able to read it yet, obviously. But I will show you guys everything there is about the book to give you guys a little bit better idea on if you wanted to buy it or not, in case you're on like the fence about it, if you want to decide to do it or not. Yeah, I'm going to get it. That's a day one purchase, no matter what for me. That's going to happen. All right. Hey, awesome. Gold. Thank you, sir. I subscribed and liked the video. You're inspiring. Hey, man, I appreciate that, dude. When I first started this channel about a year ago, I totally did not think I would get more than, like, I was thinking 100 would make me feel special. But here I am, about a little over 1,100 subscribers already, and I thought I was only going to get about 100. So I appreciate it. That's super humbling, and it's so cool that I have people out there that I can talk comics with. Because I used to work at a comic book store a long time ago, and I left that job. And when I left that job, I really didn't have anybody to talk comics with. So that was kind of what That and the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group is what got me into the idea of this. Let's start a channel and talk about Omnibus and talk about comics again and have kind of an outreach. So everybody who subscribes, I appreciate it. You make this possible, especially everybody who's here right now watching it. Hey, what up, Jimmy Owens? Hey, Jimmy, thanks again for offering to send me that signed Boys comic, dude. I can't wait for that. That's bitching. Gold, do you like X-Men? And if you do, who's your favorite? Okay, yes, I do like X-Men. All right, my favorite X-Men, Maggot. I love the idea of a character like Maggot. I mean, normally people will say Cyclops or Iceman or Wolverine or something like that. I like Gambit. Or I'm sorry, I like Maggot. Because he is this strange character whose powers he has, which is like 2 giant slugs in his stomach. His powers was originally killing him. And Magneto went to, I think it was South Africa. Maggot's a South African character. And was able to expel the maggots out of him. So there's a maggot called Eenie and a maggot called Eenie and Meanie. So there's these 2 giant slugs in him that work as his digestive tract. So that's just a really cool character to me. It's completely original. Outside of that, Archangel. I just like the idea of somebody like Archangel who kind of had it all, as Warren Worthington III, being rich and good looking and affluent, having that all kind of stripped away from him and becoming basically evil for a while and possessed or controlled by another being. Things like that's really interesting to me. Oh, Jim, you just got any comics to make? Cool, man. That's I'm glad to hear that. And I'm glad to see that you talked to Derek Robertson a lot on Twitter. I love that guy. I've talked to him a few times before. He was out here in Vegas for MorrisonCon, and MorrisonCon you got to pick 2 creators that you got to like personally meet and hang out with, and he was one of them. So we hung out and drank some Bloody Marys and talked comics, and he signed all my Transmetropolitan trade paperbacks and stuff like that. So, did you stop doing the Nickelodeon box? I still have the Nickelodeon box. I have the newest one here. I'm just debating on doing a video for it. All the videos I do for the Nickelodeon box, they take a little bit of time to do and a lot of effort. But they get like 0 views. Like they get like, my last one's like 200 views, which I don't know if that's really worth it. I don't get much feedback on it, on whether people even care, or if it's even, people are just skipping it and are more interested in the comic book videos. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I still have the newest one. It's not even open yet. I just haven't gone around to opening it. Like I said, I'm still debating on if I should just do an opening video on it one day, or if I'm just going to open it, just, let my wife open it because she loves these things. So I don't know. Like I said, they get no views. They're pretty much duds when I send out those videos. Yeah, dude, WPNX 84. Yeah, if you come to Vegas, man, check out the shop. Torpedo Comics. For those of you out there, I work at a comic book store here in Las Vegas called Torpedo Comics. Coolest, baddest fucking job I'm ever going to have in my life. I get to work around comics again. I worked at a different comic book store, but I left there, and that comic book store isn't much of a comic book store as much as it is like everything pop culture kind of store. So they have comics and gaming and pops and dog leashes and bottle openers and just all kinds of just riffraff and paraphernalia, like random stuff. Torpedo, though, 100% comics, comic-related stuff. Comics, statues, CGCs, a lot of CGCs. So you can see that on, check them out. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Torpedo Comics. We have a section of the store that is called the Fortress of Solitude, which is high-grade CGCs. And then we have a bank vault that people can go into. It's open to the public. People can go in there and check it out. and it's all like holy grails of comic books. We got an AF15, Amazing Fantasy 15, CGC at a 9, CBCS is CBCS 9.6, so it's graded at 9.6. Amazing book. About 2 or 3 Amazing Spider-Man #1s in different conditions. About another 3 or 4 Hulk 181s. One is even a 9.8, signed by Stan Lee. So it's just the most craziest, epic collection of comics, and it's just great to be around that. Be around a great group of people that I work with, Rob and Will, and being able to just sell these comics and statues and everything like that. So it's great to, again, be able to talk to people about comics on a regular basis. Who's my favorite Slaughter? I mean, Sergeant Slaughter. He's a pretty cool Slaughter. I don't know what you mean by that, Gold, but yeah, Sergeant Slaughter, I guess, is my favorite Slaughter. Have I seen Justice League? Yes, I have seen Justice League. I saw it last Friday. I enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as other people did, but I don't think it's deserving of all the super negative criticisms that it is getting. I mean, it's weird to me when movies like superhero films or kid films are put at a same and equal level of criticism or expectations as a high-end artsy film. Like, what I'm trying to say is things like Coco or Batman vs. Superman or Hulk or Wonder Woman or Thor, I mean, should not be held the same standards as like a Dunkirk or something like that. And it's really weird to me when critics base it on it not being a morally meritable like review or movie. Like, this is a bad movie, it's shot badly. I don't know why people go to those movies thinking about the cinematography of it. It's not about that to me at all. It's about having a good time. Those are good popcorn movies where I can sit back for a couple hours with my wife in the dark and eat popcorn and just kind of just enjoy a movie. But I will say that I enjoyed Thor a little bit more than Justice League, but I am going to say that Thor had way too many jokes, and it was jokey for no reason on a lot of that stuff. So that's that. Favorite DC character? Mine is Fireman. I'm not sure who Fireman is. Okay, favorite DC character. Right off the top of my head, I want to say Batman, but that's kind of generic. Oh, no, Captain Marvel. There we go. I love the idea of Captain Marvel. I love the idea of a kid who becomes an adult, but is still a kid at heart. He's Captain Marvel. Shazam has always been that happy-go-lucky innocence, and I think that's a great character. And he's still just as strong as Superman. Maybe even a little bit stronger. I don't know, because he has magic, and Superman, has a weakness towards magic. But yeah, definitely Captain Marvel, and I'm excited that they're making a film of him finally. What else we got on here? Do I like the art of Mike Wieringo? I absolutely 100% Omega love Mike Wieringo's art. He is his work on Fantastic Four is my favorite artwork on Fantastic Four outside of Jack Kirby, of course. So for those of you who don't know who Mike Wieringo is, he didn't do much of this issue or this book. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the great Doctor Doom saga stuff. Okay, so here's some of Mike Wieringo's art. It's very cartoony and kind of anime-ish, like maybe a little bit of manga thrown in there. He just has really been able to capture, for as cartoony as his artwork is, he is great at capturing emotion and heartfelt family moments, which made him perfect for Fantastic Four, as well as action and adventure, all in his own little unique style. Like, When you see a Mike Wieringo page, you can tell it's a Mike Wieringo page. Unfortunately, he died unexpectedly about, I want to say 10 years ago, but I might be wrong. But yeah, definitely. I feel bad that we no longer have an artist like him around anymore. I feel when you lose an artist, not only are you losing that person, but you're losing any kind of future artwork that they may have done. But yeah, again, I'll just recommend this Mark Waid and Mike Wieringo Fantastic Four book. This is a very, very special book to me. I was reading these books in the hospital when my first baby was born. So there's a connection to this. I'm always going to have a connection to this series and to Mike Wieringo and Mark Waid for their work. He's also did things like Tell Us. He did some Spider-Man work. Flash. Oh, he did some great Flash and Impulse stuff as well. I'm trying to think of else whatever work he's done. But yeah, if you don't know Mike Wieringo, look him up. Look up some of his work. If you like that kind of art, you won't be disappointed. Today is, speaking of my son's being born, well, this is a different son. I have two. Today is Thanksgiving, but it's also my second son's birthday. So I have some Chinese cake here is what we got for a birthday cake for him. So I'm going to eat a little bit of this while I wait for more people to ask some questions in the chat. So yeah, cake and whiskey for Thanksgiving. All right, so let's see here. Jimmy Owens. Oh yeah, I like the Flash too. I'm more of a Wally West Flash fan because that's who was Flash when I started reading DC Comics. Barry Allen was long gone by then. He died early in the late 80s during Crisis on Infinite Earths. And that was way before I started reading comics. So when I started getting into comics and I started getting into Death of Superman was the series that got me into like the DC universe. And at that time, Flash was Barry Allen. So I'm always a big fan of Barry Allen. I'm sorry, Wally West more than Barry Allen Flash. Gold, hey, cool, Gold. Your birthday's this weekend too, man. And well, happy birthday, man. Happy early birthday. Thanks for stopping in today. No, Kyle, I have not been keeping up with metal. I need to. I should just grab those books from the store and read them and pick them up and check it out. They're just super popular that they keep selling out really fast. But I need to pick those up for sure. Nathan Hooper, what's up, buddy? Is IDW ever going to do a Steve Ditko artist book? That's a good question. I have doubt that Scott Dunbier, the guy who does the artist editions for IDW, I have a yo. What up, Jim Mint? We got Steven Small in the house, son. I doubt that Scott Dunbier has enough. Not that he doesn't have enough access to Steve Ditko artwork. I just don't think there is enough Steve Ditko surviving artwork out there to do a artist edition. Maybe they have artifact editions. And the difference between those is usually the artist editions, they do complete issues, like multiple complete issues in a row. So you can basically read an entire story arc looking at the original art. And like I said, I don't think there's that much Steve Ditko art out there available. Steve Ditko was very infamous for using his original artwork as like cutting boards afterwards. So all those boards got cut up and just used and misplaced and damaged and just ruined and thrown away anyways. But I think there's enough single pages out there, like maybe a little bit of Spider-Man from here, a little bit of Doctor Strange from here, a little bit of a little bit of what else did he do? There's just enough of little bits and pieces of artwork out there that they could do an artifact edition, which would be just pages, a couple pages at a time in a book. So things like that. Have you read the run of Joe Kelly in JLA? Yeah, I read that run. I love Joe Kelly. I followed Joe Kelly from Deadpool to X-Men to Superman and JLA. That's all really good stuff. I think Joe Kelly's the one that did the World at Wars series that had Ed McGuinness on there. So love Joe Kelly's work. I try to read almost everything that he does. He is recently, like his most recent big book that's taken off is I Killed Giants. So that's another great one. What up, Unlikely Nerd? What's up, Gabe? How long did your gauntlet take? My gauntlet tattoo, I'm going to say, I remember it took 3 sessions. And I'm going to say each session was about 4 hours long a piece. So all in all, the tattoo took us, I would say, about 12 hours to get done completely. I love this tattoo. It stopped so many people in their tracks. It's funny. Do I think Jeff Loeb without Tim Sale sucks? Nope, not at all. Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb is like peanut butter and jelly. But I think individually, I like peanut butter and I like jelly. That's my text message. So yeah, no, Jeff Loeb, I love the work he did on Ultimatum. I like Ultimatum a lot. I like Hush a lot. Trying to think of what else he did off the top of my head. That's all I can think of off the top of my head right now. But no, I don't think him and Tim Sale is the only thing good that Jeff Loeb has ever done. Do I like Marvel, DC, or Capcom better? Marvel. Gun in my head, I would have to say Marvel. I'm a comic book fan, so I don't really differentiate Marvel versus DC so much. But growing up, Marvel was who I went with. There's a lot of DC universe information and continuity I know nothing about. Legion of Superheroes, who the fuck are they? I have no idea about anything about Legion of Superheroes. I don't know really anything about DC Silver Age. That stuff is all really weird and hard to read and follow. Yeah, but I mean, more modern stuff, a little bit. But I'm more of a Marvel guy for sure. So I see for some people who have just recently kind of stepped into the video and stepped into the chat, I was showing off some recent pickups. I did get Fury Max. This is the Great Garth Ennis book. I've never read this before, but there's a podcast out there called 11 O'Clock Comics that I am a Patreon on. It's basically the only Patreon I do. I'm not a big Patreon kind of person. But I've been listening to their podcast for probably about 7, 8, maybe even 9 years, for a very, very long time. They've convinced me to buy a lot of books. They did this as their book of their month about 2 months ago, and I had to pick it up. And I got this from my boy Luis from the Omnibus Collectors Group. And as well, Volume 5 and Volume 6 of Ultimate Fantastic Four, which completes my set. Super excited about that. Super excited. Have a little bit more birthday cake while I'm here, as I wait for more questions to pop up in the chat. Wash that down with some whiskey at the same time. So let's see. My favorite UFC fighter? I don't watch UFC. I'm sorry, bro. I have no idea about anything. I'll say GSP because that's the only character I know, or the only fighter I know. But I've watched maybe 4 UFC fights, and 3 of those were back when UFC first started. I was still in high school, and that was back in the day when it was basically no rules. It was definitely Ultimate Fighter. And you were able to kick people in the head, kick people on the floor while they're on the ground, stuff like that. Like the first UFC match I saw, which is like the first event, some guy got his teeth kicked out. It was great. Do you collect shadow pulps or any pulps like Doc Savage? Do you like any of the Dynamite comics on the Shadow of the Pulps? No, sorry, Nathan. I've not read any pulp stuff like that. The current Batman Shadow is really good, though. But I've never been a fan of Shadow. I mean, I remember the Alec Baldwin movie, and that's really about it. I don't know anything about that stuff. Who's your go-to artist that you'll follow, that you'll read any book they are on? Okay, easy. Derek Robertson. Derek Robertson's my favorite comic book artist right now, and has been for probably, I don't know, 12 years or so. I fell in love with his work on Transmetropolitan, and I've been following him ever since. I own a page of his artwork from Transmet. I have a couple sketches that he did for me. He's a great guy, super sweet guy, nicest guy you're ever going to meet. He plays guitar, but he was at Morrison Con, stuff like that. So Derek Robertson, right now he's doing Harbinger, and I'm buying that book just because he's on it. Who else? I would have said Steve Dillon, but he's not around anymore. Eduardo Riso, he's the artist from 100 Bullets. He did a really cool Batman arc with Brian Azzarello. And most recently, he did Dark Knight with Paul Dini. If you guys haven't heard about this, this is a story that Paul Dini did about himself. It's an actual true Batman story, as it says here. True Batman story by Paul Dini, Eduardo Riso on the art. It's basically a true telling of Paul Dini's life when he first. If you don't know who Paul Dini is, he is one of the probably the most famous writer that came out of the writers' room for Batman the Animated Series. There's a lot of writers on there. He didn't write every episode, but he wrote a lot of the big time episodes. He did Heart of Ice, which won an Emmy, and he's one of the creators for Harley Quinn. So during his time on Batman the Animated Series, he got mugged down the street from his house. He got savagely beat. His face was broken. He basically had to wear basically a cast. It's not a cast. You can't really cast someone's face, but he had like a handle like cast on his face to kind of keep his cheeks and jaw back together, stuff like that. So this is the telling of that tale. And as you can see, Eduardo Riso has some great artwork in here depicting him and his bloody mess of a face after the assault. And the assault was just, you can see how kind of gross and chewed up his face looks right here. The assault wasn't because he's Paul Dini. It wasn't like, he was famous and they beat him up because he was famous or anything like that. They just beat him up and took his wallet. I mean, and this is another great book. I just turned this page and I remember why I like it so much. Paul Dini goes into a lot about himself. Like, this had to have been a very therapeutic outpouring for him, because there's this part here where he wins his Emmy and he still such low self-esteem that he takes the sharp wings of the Emmy. The Emmy looks like a giant angel with wings. takes the sharp wings of the Emmy and he like cuts himself where he doesn't like himself, like because his overweight stomach, overweight chest, things like that. So big ups to him for being that kind of open about something like that and putting it into a comic. But yeah, that's what I like about Eduardo Risso. His artwork is great. 100 Bullets. He draws beautiful, like some of the most beautiful women, but they're like street level, and that makes them sound like dirty hookers. But they're just like normal, everyday looking women, Hispanic women, stuff like that. Just beautiful, beautiful women that he draws. What's your favorite cover of Fantastic Four? Mine is 191 by George Perez. That's a great cover. It is the cover of 82, which they used for this omnibus. Outside of that, it's a Mike Wieringo cover, of course. I think there might be a cover gallery in here. Let me see. No, it's not in this book. Is it in the second book? Where did I put the second book? Anyways, it's the cover where the Fantastic Four all have their hands on top of one another, like a team and like a family. And I use that cover a lot for like my wall, my phone's wallpaper. Where's the volume 2 go? It's just that image of all the Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch with their hands on top of one another. That just has this sense of family and unity and one for one and each for one another. It's just a simple cover, but it just holds so much symbolism and life behind it. I love it. Love it. Give me a second here. I'm trying to get rid of somebody who is spamming the chat, and I don't want that bullshit. Fuck that dude. All right. My favorite version of Batman. Okay, easy. Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is my absolute favorite version of Batman. It's not Bruce Wayne Batman, but here's the thing. Batman has gone through a lot of different people have taken up the mantle of Batman. I remember when Dick Grayson took over as Batman. John Paul Valley, Azrael, during Nightfall, took over as Batman. And each time Azrael took over as Batman, we only took over as once. And then even when Dick Grayson took over as Batman, it never really felt like that was the right person to be Batman. People didn't like it. People wouldn't read the book until regular Batman came back. Or even like when recently during the New 52 when Jim Gordon took over as Batman for a little bit. People wouldn't read the book. They stopped reading the book when things like that happen until Bruce Wayne comes back. Except with Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, for whatever reason, he is accepted as the next step in the Batman evolution. Like he's accepted. Like there's Bruce Wayne and then there's Terry McGinnis. That's it. There is no Dick Grayson. There is no Jim Gordon, Azrael, Batman, anything like that. It's Bruce Wayne, Ed McGinnis. And I think the reason for that is in the cartoon and the comic series for Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis kind of earns the mantle of Batman from Batman. Batman literally gave him the okay and the right to be Batman. He earned it by, his father was killed, and he helped Batman out fighting the Jokers and protecting Gotham City and things like that. So Batman Beyond is my favorite version of Batman besides, regular Batman. Okay, so let me take a look. Just getting some, trying to catch up on the questions on here. I'm glad that you guys are asking me these questions right now. Would you change any of Batman's background or origin? No, I think the way he is pretty much spot on. The one thing I would change about him, though, now that I said that out loud, I don't like they refer to it as God mode Batman, where he is like just super completely unbeatable, and he has like a contingency plan for 15 different contingency plans. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of him in the Justice League when it's like super out of space, cosmic kind of stuff. Like that doesn't feel like Batman to me at all. Go Leaferson, I've seen you in real life. Okay, cool. How did that happen? You've been to my comic shop. All right, cool, man. Next Batman omnibus you would like to see? Well, Nightfall Volume 3, of course. I got Volume 1 and Volume 2. Omnibus. Oh, dude. I think this is an answer a lot of people give, but the Grant Morrison, Tim Drake Batman stuff. I would love to see just an omnibus of all of that kind of stuff that leads up, not Tim Drake, Dick Grayson. All that stuff that leads up and past that. So I would like to see an omnibus that has like, a little bit of Final Crisis, Batman R.I.P., Search for Bruce Wayne, and Batman and Robin, where Grayson's Batman and we get Damian around as our first introduction of Damian as Robin. I think that is the omnibus everybody's asking for. Omnibus are absolute. It needs to get collected into a premium format one way or the other. It's been solicited a few times, and it's always been just canceled. It pops up like once a year. It pops up on Amazon and it just disappears. I'm gonna have some more birthday cake. And some more whiskey. Yeah, no, I would also love Omega, an omnibus for Peter David's run on the Hulk. That would be great. It'll take a couple omnibus because omnibus, omnibuy, omnibuses. I don't know the exact correct plural of omnibus is, but it's going to take a lot because he was on that series for like 10 years. I would also like to see Peter David's X Factor run get absolute, or not absolute, but omnibus did. That whole series of Madrox and having like a private eye agency was beautiful. That's one of the best comics ever out there. Jimmy, if you want to start with Batman, start with not a run, but I think the best things to kind of read would be Year One by Frank Miller. And then you don't need to do runs. I think it's better to kind of follow creator like arcs. So you could do like Year One. What do I have up here? Death in the Family. Nightfall. 100%. You need to read. I think you need to read Nightfall. Hush. Batman and the Red Hood. And more recently, if you really want a good spot, if you don't want to go back that far, a newer good spot would be when Dick Grayson was Batman, right here in the Black Mirror. This is the last stuff of Dick Grayson as Batman, written by Scott Snyder, with art by by Jock and Francisco Francavilla. This is a great, great series right here. This will lead you right into the New 52. So I think you could start off here and work your way into and through the New 52 stuff. What character stood out for you in the Justice League movie? There's one character that was only in there for a little bit, and I don't want to spoil it. You see this character during one of the fights with Steppenwolf. But outside of that, Cyborg. Cyborg was surprisingly really well done. I think he was the only character in this entire huge movie who had a story arc. I mean, we were introduced to Aquaman, we were introduced to the Flash, we were introduced to Cyborg, and a bunch of other little characters like Jim Gordon's in there, stuff like that. But Cyborg is the only one that has a struggle and an arc. He starts here, really depressed about everything that happened to him, and then he ends up here in this better place, understanding more about who he is and why he's that way and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe that was all Josh Whedon's doing. I don't know if Josh Whedon went back and reshot all those things, all those scenes with Cyborg to make him more interesting or make him have some kind of a character arc. But that was definitely a big, huge standout for me. Bendis Daredevil or Brubaker Daredevil? That's easy. Let me reach over and show you. Bendis Daredevil. Bendis Daredevil is great. I just put out a video of books that I am most thankful for as a part of this whole Thanksgiving thing. So go ahead and check out that video here on my channel. One of the books was that Daredevil book. Bendis on Daredevil brought Daredevil back to kind of the era and the essence that Frank Miller created so long ago. Or, you know, yeah, Frank Miller created that Daredevil, the hard-knocked, street-level struggle, you know, struggles with his Catholicism, struggles with being a vigilante and a lawyer at the same time, things like that really make that character unique and special. Frank Miller started that, and Brian Michael Bendis brought it back and continued that on. Definitely, I recommend that. The omnibus are super, super out of print. If I wanted to, I could probably get like three people's kids for the omnibus in a trade, but I would say you could probably find the oversized hardcovers out there, or even the I think there's Ultimate Collections, the trade paperbacks, thicker trade paperbacks. That's the way to go to read that book. What would I like to see Bendis do over at DC? All right, I've had this talk with people at work and friends before. I think Bendis. The book is supposed to be canceled, but I think Bendis, if Bendis relaunched it, it would explode and blow up. I think anything Bendis is going to do over there is going to explode and blow up in a good way. Like, it's going to be fantastic. Blue Beetle. I think he would be great doing Jaime Rey as Blue Beetle, because Bendis already has that track record of dealing with teenage kids. So I would love to see him do something like Blue Beetle. Outside of that, I'd like to see him do something large and grandiose and cosmic, maybe. Maybe a little bit like Fourth World stuff, I think would be cool. I would like to see him do his own Justice League. Like, maybe he could piece together characters that weren't ever really on Justice League before and make his own Justice League team, the same way he did with Avengers, where he could just pull random people out. Like, I don't know, he could do like Mr. Miracle mixed in with Captain Marvel, mixed in with Booster Gold, just things like that. Like, he could really, Zatanna, he could just really just mix. He's really good at mixing characters together who don't really quite mix together, and making that dynamic of them bouncing off bouncing off one another super interesting. So I would like to see him do something like that over there. Whiskey's good. That's good whiskey for sure. All right, so let me ask you guys a quick question. Again, I'm borrowing this from my friend Jess, who did this earlier today. What do you guys want to see more out of my channel? I know there's a few people here who are brand new, and that's great. But what would you like to see me do with this channel? Do you like the videos that I do now? Is there certain videos that you prefer? Do you want to see me do more reviews? I did a review today on. My room's a disaster right now. Sorry. I did a review today on the first Rebirth Detective Comics Deluxe Edition. Do you guys like that more? Do you like seeing reviews? Do you guys like seeing more like these live Q&A videos? Do you guys want more spotlights where I go through different types of omnibus and I review things that way? I mean, you know, stuff like that, let me know. Also, if you guys are interested in seeing me do other types of videos as well, or see me more often, like I said earlier in the show, it's in my description down below. But I'm on a, I'm going to edit this real quick. I'm on another video show here on YouTube called Omni Bros Live. And I'm on the Monday shows. Like I said, the show used to be all on Thursdays. Where on Thursdays, we would have, you know, what did you buy? Like, show us your haul. What did you read? And a topic. But that got really long. Those videos, those live events would be about 2.5 hours. And that's kind of long for things like that. So we decided to kind of split it up into different nights. So there's a Monday and a Thursday show now. Monday show is Show Me Your Haul and What Did You Read, where we talk about what we bought and things that we read. Pretty self-explanatory. And we also go over that week's new releases for omnibus and collected editions, trade paperback, stuff like that too. So the link is down below in the description. Omni Bros Live, hit that up, subscribe to that. We do Mondays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you can check that out as well. And then follow all my hosts, all my other fellow hosts on there. Omni Dog, Jess is on there, Riley's on there, Omar from Near Mint Condition, all those dudes are on there too. So give them a follow and check out their videos as well. So let me just kind of fix up this description. I need to fix the description here. Because I have this as the old Omni Bros information. Monday and Thursday nights. Oh, I'm sorry. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I need to fix that in the default. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I couldn't stop that sneeze from happening. All right, so let's see. What else kind of questions we got going on here? Let me load the chat back up. Jimmy Owens, love all the videos, but I really like the reviews. Okay, cool. I'll keep that up. Kirby Fourth World Omni coming out in a few weeks. I'm interested. Is it worth it? How about Simonson or Ryan Omni? Okay. The Jack Kirby Omnibus for Fourth World 100% will be worth it. It's everything Fourth World, which is Forever People, Mr. Miracle. Damn it. I'm a little drunk. I can't remember. Forever People, Mr. Miracle. New Gods. It's like 1,500 pages. It's going to be like the largest omnibus that has ever been put out. All of that is going to be into one omnibus. So it's 100% worth it. All that Fourth World stuff, I believe, is what the Justice League movies are going to build up to. I think it's going to build up to Apocalypse and Highfather and Dark Side and Mr. Miracle and the Forever People and more mother boxes and boom tubes and all that kind of stuff. I think they're going towards that route. So I think it's going to be worth it to get that omnibus. As I said earlier in the show, I'm going to get it for sure day one, and I'll do a spotlight review of it where I'll go through it basically almost page by page, showing you guys what's inside of it and the contents and the covers and stuff like that. Cool, Kyle. I'm glad that you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that you enjoy the Monday shows where we show you what's coming out that week. Yeah, I miss Lewis too, everybody. I'm not going to get into too much of his details or anything like that, but he just kind of stepped out of the omnibus collecting, just collecting like collected editions altogether. I think he's digital. But he's happy. He's doing what he's doing. He still has his channel. He still does stuff like that and things like that. But yeah, Brother Man sold off his entire collection, I think. But that guy is always going to have a hand by. He's always going to have help by me if he needs it. He's always going to be taken care of for sure. He's a good guy. I'm glad to see John in the chat. What up, John? Yep. Like John said, he went digital and sold his books. Yeah, Lewis changed the name of his channel. It's Comics Guide 101. So he's doing a lot of like, here's how to start reading Hellboy. Here's how to start reading The Punisher. Like cool stuff like that. Speaking of Punisher, did you guys see Punisher? I am 6 or 7 episodes in, and I'm loving every moment of it. It's a great Netflix series. By the way, this has been about an hour, guys. I got a lot of family downstairs here for my son's birthday and for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to give this probably, I'll give this about another 10 minutes. And we'll see what is up with that. I'm doing a bunch of weird notifications. Yeah, we'll give it about another 10 minutes. And that'll be it. So I can get back to doing family stuff and drinking with my family and stuff like that. Oh, dude, John. Okay, great. So John has started a new retail job, and you start tomorrow. Wow, dude, you start on Black Friday. You guys have Black Friday over there in on the other side of the ocean? But either way, dude, I'm very, very happy for you, bud. I know you're going through a little bit of rough times and stuff like that, and I'm glad to see that everything's working out, dude. Hey, retail jobs. Hey, I work retail, dude, so there's nothing too bad about it, but hey, man, just keep your head down and just work as hard as you can. Just earn that paycheck. That's all it is right now. WPNX, I'm enjoying watching the spotlights. Monday shows. Can't wait to see the Jack Kirby Fourth Row Omnibus. Yeah, it's going to happen, man. I can't wait to do that video. Oh, Mr. Johnny Kid, what's up, dude? I saw you in Justin's video earlier, man. But yeah, Punisher is great. I remember in the Omnibus Collectors group, like right before the show was released, like the day before it launched, somebody posted a review. I didn't read the review very much. I don't like to read reviews. But it's basically just saying that the show's garbage and it sucks and Frank Castle doesn't wear the skull. Like that matters. Like that makes Frank Castle Punisher. But I was completely wrong. Again, I'm not... As somebody myself, I'm a critic. I don't even call myself a critic. I don't criticize books at all. I try to be creative and constructive, any kind of criticism that I give out. But again, who cares what critics say? I don't. I still want to watch anything that's out there and just base it on my own merits, my own experiences with it. So. That sucks, man. Yeah, online sales hurt, but I don't know. I can see why people do it. It's really, it's just convenience and cheaper, I can see why people do it. But what are you going to do? Get a little bit more birthday cake here in my stomach. So it's almost towards the end of the year. We got about a little more than a month left. And the releases for Omnibus and collected editions have kind of stalled out right now. Like I was saying, next week, last couple of weeks, I haven't gotten anything really. I got things at the store I'm going to be picking up that I have kind of in my cubby I have saved. But new release wise, I want to get the next week is the last Gotham Academy trade paperback. I think Kirby's Fourth World. I think that might be it for me for the rest of the year on new releases. I got a question. Do you live in Hawaii? Nope, don't live in Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. Screw critics. If it's happy, if you like watching it or whatever, then who cares? No, I don't live in Hawaii. I live in Las Vegas. Cool. Yeah, John. Hey, I worked in a grocery store for a little bit too. Just don't spit on the food or anything, man. How about this? I'll throw one more question out there to you guys in the chat and anybody who's watching. It's Thanksgiving. What is your favorite, like, besides like turkey and like the main course stuff, what's your favorite food item for Thanksgiving? For me, the absolute best thing and the one thing I look forward to the most every Thanksgiving season, I think it's something you can get all year round anyways, but I like to kind of keep it around and save it for the Thanksgiving season. Pecan pie. Love pecan pie. I'm not a pumpkin pie person at all. Don't care. Whatever. Nope. Go away with that pumpkin pie. Pecan pie, I will fucking destroy that shit. I will murder some pecan pie in front of everybody. I don't care. I'm a slob when I eat pecan pie. David Darnell, is the Planet Hulk Omnibus necessary? I already have the trade. I was wondering if picking up the Omnibus was worth it. If you have the trade, here's the thing. I got both, actually. Where is my Planet Hulk? And my Planet Hulk. So I have the trade as well. And I have the Omnibus. Here's the thing. For the trade, it collects Incredible Hulk 92 through 105, Planet Hulk Gladiator Guidebook, and material from Amazing Fantasy 15 and Giant Size Hulk number 1. The Omnibus. This collects Fantastic Four 533 through 535, Incredible Hulk 88 through 105, Giant Size Hulk 1, What If Planet Hulk Gladiator Guidebook, and material from Illuminati and Amazing Fantasy number 15. So you do get a little bit more in here for in the Omnibus. Okay. You get a couple more extra issues. You get the Illuminati issue, which I think is pretty important because that's kind of the story that tells them, that describes when they shoot them off into space and stuff like that. Okay, so those are the differences. This is a $100 Omnibus, unless you go to In Stock Trade or Amazon or wherever you go. You can get it for cheaper. So, is that worth it to you? That's your choice. But I bought them both. But I will tell you this, as I put these away, Because if I don't put them away now, I never will, and I'll forget, and it'll be just a pile of just books all over my room. World War Hulk Omnibus, though. Definitely 100% worth it, no matter what. If you have the trade already for Planet Hulk, I do recommend getting World War Hulk, though. This has, I'm not going to read it all off. It's hard to see here, but there is a fucking metric fat ton of great books in this. So this is totally worth it. All right, guys, just a few more minutes here, and I'm going to bounce out. Deviled eggs and celery cream cheese. That sounds pretty good. I like that idea, Jimmy Holmes. And John Wilson agrees with me that pumpkin pie is amazing. Yep. Or pecan pie is amazing. Pumpkin pie can go sit in the corner and be a piece of shit because it's garbage. So outside of that, let's see. Let's go over a quick couple things real fast. I went over earlier. I think one of my favorite questions for tonight. Do I need to read Watchmen for reading Doomsday Clock? Yes. For those of you that are in here, who maybe Doomsday Clock is your first kind of introduction, I should say, in the Watchmen, you do need to read the original Watchmen first. You won't. I don't think you'll be able to fully appreciate what they're doing in Doomsday Clock without getting the information from Watchmen. And like I said before, don't read all the Watchmen in one sitting. Give it like, it's 12 issues. Give it at least a week. Give this thing a week. It deserves your time and your appreciation. Don't read it all at once. Read like 1 or 2 issues a night. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. That is that. I appreciate everybody sticking around. Thank you, everybody. Give this a thumbs up while you're here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll wish the rest of you guys a wonderful Thanksgiving. And a shout out to John on his new job. I'm really happy to hear that, man. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.